Jiwoo opened her eyes slowly. Her head hurt badly. The air around her was cold and smelled like metal and something else she could not name. She tried to move her arms, but they were locked behind her back with thick metal bands. The floor beneath her was hard and vibrated with a low hum that she could feel in her bones. She remembered the attack. Her small scout ship had been traveling near the edge of human space when they appeared from nowhere. The alien ships were fast and deadly. They fired weapons that cut through her shields like they were made of paper. Her crew fought back hard, but there were too many enemies. The last thing she remembered was the explosion that threw her against the wall and then darkness. Now she was here. Wherever here was, Jiwoo sat up slowly and looked around. The room was small with gray metal walls that curved upward. A single door with no handle stood across from her. There was no bed, no chair, nothing but the cold floor. A dim light came from strips along the ceiling that flickered every few seconds. She was a prisoner. The door suddenly slid open with a hiss. Jiwoo looked up and felt her stomach twist with fear. The creatures that entered were nothing like humans. They stood tall on 4 legs that bent backward like an insect. Their bodies were covered in dark blue armor that looked like it grew from their skin. 2 arms ended in hands with too many fingers, but it was their faces that made Jiwoo want to look away. Large black eyes that reflected no light, mouths that moved sideways with clicking sounds, long antennas that twitched and moved as they walked. The Valtran. She had seen pictures of them in military files, but seeing them in person was different. They were bigger than she expected. Scarier. 2 of the guards grabbed her arms and lifted her to her feet. Their grip was strong enough to hurt. They did not speak to her or even look at her like she was a person. To them, she was just cargo. Just a thing to be moved from one place to another. They dragged her out of the cell and into a long hallway. The walls here were the same gray metal, but there were windows along one side. Jiwoo looked out and her breath caught in her throat. Space. Stars everywhere. And below them a planet she did not recognize with purple clouds swirling across its surface. She was on a ship. A big one. The guards pulled her along and she had no choice but to walk with them. Her feet moved quickly to keep up. They passed other doors and other hallways. Some rooms she could see inside had alien soldiers working at strange computers. Others had weapons stacked against walls. Everything looked dangerous and powerful. The guards clicked and whistled to each other as they walked. Jiwoo had a small device implanted behind her ear that translated alien languages. She could understand every word they said. "This human is small," one guard said. "Not worth keeping." "The commander wants information," the other replied. "After that we throw her into space," they laughed. The sound was like metal scraping against glass. Jiwoo said nothing. She kept her face blank and her eyes down. Let them think she was weak. Let them think she understood nothing. It would help her later if they did not know she could understand them. They turned down another hallway, and this one was different, bigger. The ceiling was higher and the walls had strange symbols carved into them. The air felt different here too, more important somehow. Jiwoo looked at everything carefully. She was a commander in the Terran Defense Fleet. She had been trained to notice details, to remember layouts, to find weaknesses. Even as a prisoner being dragged to her death, she was gathering information. The ship hummed around her with power. She could feel it through the floor. Engines, big ones, the kind that could push a massive warship across space faster than anything humans had built. But there was something else, something familiar about the vibration pattern, the way the walls curved, the spacing of the support beams. Her heart started to beat faster. No, it could not be. They passed a wall panel and Jiwoo saw symbols that made her blood run cold. Human symbols, old ones, covered with alien writing but still there if you knew where to look. The panel design was wrong for Valtran technology. The curves were softer, the connections different. This was not a Valtran ship. This was a human ship. Jiwoo's mind raced. There had been stories. Legends, really. Ships that went missing during the first wars with the Valtran. Colony ships filled with families looking for new worlds to live on. Military vessels that vanished while on patrol. Most people thought they had been destroyed, blown apart and scattered across space. But what if some had been captured instead? What if the aliens had taken them and made them their own? The guard stopped in front of a large door. One of them pressed his hand against a panel and the door slid open. Inside was a big room with a single chair in the center. The chair had straps and wires connected to a machine that blinked with red lights. An interrogation room. They pushed Jiwoo inside and strapped her into the chair. The metal was cold against her skin. One guard attached something to her head. It felt like cold fingers pressing against her skull. A new alien entered the room. This one was bigger than the guards and wore a different colored armor. Red instead of blue. Metals covered his chest. He looked at Jiwoo the way a scientist looks at an insect. "Human," he said in a voice that clicked and buzzed. Her translator turned it into words she could understand. "You will tell me everything. Where are your defense stations? How many ships do you have? What are your weapon capabilities?" Jiwoo said nothing. She stared at him with blank eyes. The commander made a gesture and pain exploded through her head. The machine was doing something to her brain, trying to pull thoughts out, trying to break her mind open and steal her secrets. Jiwoo screamed. She could not help it. The pain was too much, but even through the pain she was thinking, planning, this ship. If it was really human-built, then maybe, just maybe, there was a way. Her grandfather had been an engineer. He helped design colony ships before he died. He told her stories about them, about secret systems and hidden protocols, about safety features built into every ship, about voice recognition systems that could never be completely removed. They were built into the core, into the very bones of the ship. The pain stopped. Jiwoo gasped for air. Sweat ran down her face. "Again," the commander said. "Until she breaks." The pain came back worse than before. Jiwoo's vision went white. Her body shook against the straps. But in her mind she was remembering the codes her grandfather made her memorize. The old human codes from before the Voltron came, from when humans built ships with love and care and thought they would sail peacefully across the stars forever. If this ship was what she thought it was, those codes might still work. The aliens might have changed everything on the surface, but the core systems, the quantum AI that ran deep in the ship's heart, that might still be there, still waiting, still remembering who built it, still remembering human voices. The pain stopped again. Jiwoo hung limp in the chair. The commander leaned close to her face. "Weak," he said. "All humans are weak. We will take everything from you. Then we will throw you away like garbage." He turned and walked out. The guards followed him. The door closed and Jiwoo was alone in the dark room. She lifted her head slowly. Her body hurt everywhere, but her mind was clear now. She had a plan. It was dangerous and probably impossible, but it was all she had. She just needed to get to a control panel. Any panel. And then she would speak the words her grandfather taught her, the words that would wake up the sleeping heart of this stolen ship. And if she was right, the ship would remember. The ship would know who she was. And the aliens would learn that some things should never be stolen from humanity. They left Jiwoo strapped to the chair for hours, maybe days. Time was hard to measure in the dark room with only the blinking red lights from the torture machine. Her body ached and her throat was raw from screaming. But she did not break. She did not tell them anything. Finally, the door opened again. Guards came in and unstrapped her from the chair. Her legs barely held her weight as they pulled her up. Everything hurt. She tasted blood in her mouth. "Useless," one guard said as they dragged her back into the hallway. "The commander says to throw her in the maintenance bay. We space her when we reach the next sector." Jiwoo's heart jumped, but she kept her face empty. The maintenance bay. That was good. Maintenance areas always had access panels, control systems. If she could get even a few seconds alone, she might be able to try her plan. They walked through more corridors. The ship was huge, much bigger than any Voltron warship she had seen in combat reports. This confirmed what she suspected. This was one of the old human colony ships, the really big ones, ships designed to carry thousands of people across the galaxy to new worlds. Her grandfather had worked on a ship called the Eternal Dawn. It launched 70 years ago with 15,000 colonists, families, children, scientists and farmers and teachers. They were supposed to start a new Earth on a planet in the outer systems, but they never arrived. Everyone assumed they had been destroyed when the Voltron attacked human space for the first time. Was this that ship? Was she walking through the corridors her grandfather helped build? The guards turned a corner and pushed through a heavy door. The maintenance bay was massive. Pipes and cables ran across the ceiling and down the walls like metal veins. Strange machines sat in corners collecting dust. Tools hung on racks that looked like they had not been used in years. The Voltron had changed so much of the ship, but this area they mostly ignored. It was just the guts of the vessel, the boring parts that kept air flowing and lights working. They threw Jiwoo against a wall and chained her hands to a pipe above her head. The metal was cold and dug into her wrists. She hung there with her feet barely touching the floor. "Stay here and die quiet," a guard said. Then they both laughed and walked out. The door closed behind them with a bang. Jiwoo waited. She listened to the footsteps fade away down the hallway. When she was sure she was alone, she looked around carefully. The maintenance bay was dim but not completely dark. Emergency lights along the floor gave off a pale blue glow. She could see shapes, machines, panels, and there, 5 feet to her left, a wall panel with human design. The edges were softer than Valtran technology. The screen was dark, but she could see faint lines of text beneath layers of alien modifications. She stretched her leg out. Not long enough. She tried again, pulling against the chains. The metal cut into her wrists and made them bleed, but she kept trying. Her boot touched the edge of the panel. She pressed hard and the screen flickered on. Alien symbols filled the display, but underneath them, for just a second, she saw human letters, Korean and English mixed together in the old style. Her heart pounded. This was it. This was really a human ship. Jiwoo took a deep breath and spoke quietly. Her voice was rough and weak, but she said the words clearly. Authorization Jiwoo-77 Alpha. Human Legacy Protocol. Nothing happened. The screen stayed showing alien symbols. She tried again. Louder this time. Authorization Jiwoo-77 Alpha. Human Legacy Protocol. Original builder bloodline. The screen flickered. The alien symbols scrambled and reformed. Then they disappeared completely. The screen went black. For a long moment, nothing happened. Jiwoo hung there in the darkness, wondering if she had been wrong. Maybe this ship was not the Eternal Dawn. Maybe it was something else. Maybe the core AI had been destroyed or removed, or... The screen glowed soft amber. Human colors. Warm and welcoming. Text scrolled across in Korean first. Then English. Voice pattern recognized. Genetic markers detected. Captain Jiwoo family line confirmed. Primary command recognition pending. Genetic scan required for full. Authorization. Jiwoo could not believe it. Tears filled her eyes. The ship knew her. It recognized her grandfather's family. After 70 years of alien control, after being stolen and used as a weapon against her own people, the heart of this ship still remembered humans. She pulled hard against the chains and managed to swing her body closer to the panel. With a grunt of pain, she pressed her face against the screen. Let it scan her. Let it see her DNA and confirm what she was saying. The screen felt warm against her skin. A soft blue light washed over her face. Scanning. Reading. Comparing. Her genetic code to records stored deep in the ship's memory banks. Scan complete. Commander. Jiwoo confirmed as direct descendant of Chief Engineer Jiwoo who built this vessel, bloodline. Verified. Granting emergency command authorization. More text scrolled past. Technical data about ship systems. Damage reports. Status updates. And there at the top of the file, ship designation Eternal Dawn, colony vessel, Class 7, launched 73 years ago. It was true. All of it, new text appeared. Awaiting orders, Commander. Jiwoo spoke quickly and quietly. Status report. Are your core systems intact? Yes. Aliens modified surface controls and weapon systems. Quantum AI core remains intact in shielded housing. They could not access it. They do not know it exists. Can you help me escape? Affirmative. I can control basic functions through maintenance systems. Doors, lights, life support in sections the aliens rarely use. What are your orders? Jiwoo thought fast. She was one person against hundreds of alien soldiers. Even with the ship helping her, the odds were impossible. But she was not ready to give up. Not now. Not after coming this far. Are there other human prisoners on board? Affirmative. Sensors detect 17 human life signs in various sections, most in work areas. Aliens use them as slaves. 17. Not many, but more than 0. If she could free them, if she could get them weapons, maybe they could fight back. Take the ship. Get home. Can you show me where they are? A map appeared on the screen. Simple and clear. Dots marked where humans were located throughout the massive ship. Most were in the lower decks, engineering areas, places where the Valtran made them fix things and maintain systems the aliens did not understand. Can you communicate with them without the aliens knowing? Yes, I can use old intercom channels built into the walls. The aliens think they are broken. They are not. Jiwoo smiled for the first time since her capture. Good, very good. Open a channel to the human nearest to this location. Audio only. Opening channel. There was a soft click. Then silence. Then a voice, young, male, scared. Hello? Who is this? How are you using this channel? My name is Commander Jiwoo of the Terran Defense Fleet, she said quietly. I am a prisoner like you, but I have accessed the ship's core AI. This vessel is human-built. It will help us. Silence on the other end. Then you are crazy. The AI was destroyed years ago. The Valtran control everything. No. They control the surface systems only. The heart of this ship is still ours. What is your name? Hey, Jin. I fix machines and engineering. They captured me 6 months ago when they raided my colony. Hey, Jin, listen carefully. We are going to take this ship back, but I need your help. Can you access the engineering controls from where you are? Another pause. Maybe, if I am careful. The guards do not watch closely. They think we are too afraid to fight. They are wrong, Jiwoo said. Her voice was stronger now, more sure. We are going to show them what happens when they steal from humanity. Are you ready to fight? Yes. His voice was quiet but firm. I am ready. Good, the ship will guide you. Do what it says. Sabotage anything you can without getting caught. We need to cause chaos. Make them confused. When they are running around trying to fix problems, that is when we strike. Understood. What about you? I am going to free myself and find the others. We are going to arm ourselves. And then we are going to take back what is ours. The door to the maintenance bay suddenly opened. Guards. 2 of them walking in with weapons. They were talking to each other and had not seen her yet, but they would in seconds. I have to go, Jiwoo whispered. Stand by. She looked at the screen. Hide this conversation. Close the channel. Then unlock my chains when I give the signal. The text confirmed. Ready. The guards walked deeper into the bay. They were looking for something. Tools, maybe. They moved between machines and came closer to where Jiwoo hung. She stayed very still, quiet. When they were almost next to her, she spoke one word. Now. The chains unlocked with a soft click. Jiwoo dropped to the floor and her legs nearly gave out, but she forced herself to move. The guards spun around in surprise. One reached for his weapon, but Jiwoo was already moving. She grabbed a heavy wrench from a nearby rack and swung it hard. The metal connected with the guard's head and he fell. The second guard was faster. He raised his weapon and aimed. But before he could fire, the lights went out. Total darkness. The ship helping her. Jiwoo moved by memory. She had watched them enter. She knew where the second guard stood. She swung the wrench again and heard it connect. The guard made a choking sound and collapsed. The lights came back on. Both guards lay on the floor, not moving. Jiwoo grabbed one of their weapons. It was strange and heavy in her hands, but she figured out how it worked. Point and shoot. Simple enough. She looked at the wall panel. Thank you. Now show me where the armory is. We have work to do. Text scrolled across. The maintenance tunnels were narrow and dark. Jiwoo had to crawl through some sections where pipes blocked the way. The air smelled old and dusty, like no one had been here in years. Good. That meant the aliens did not use these passages. They had no idea they existed. Small lights appeared in the walls ahead of her, guiding her path. The ship showing her where to go. She followed them through twists and turns, climbing up ladder shafts and squeezing through tight spaces. Her body hurt from the torture and from the fight with the guards, but she pushed through the pain. There was no time to rest. She emerged in another maintenance room. This one had computers and screens covering the walls. All of them dark except one panel that glowed amber. Human colors. Waiting for her. Jiwoo moved to the panel and placed her hand on it. Status update. Text appeared. 17 human prisoners located. Contact established with engineering slave Heijin. He is beginning sabotage operations. Alien Command has not yet noticed your escape. The guards in Maintenance Bay remain unconscious. How long until they find the guards? Estimate 42 minutes until next patrol check, not much time. She needed to move fast. Show me the quickest route to the armory. A map appeared on screen. Deck 5 was 2 levels up. The path through the tunnels would take 15 minutes. But there was another way. A cargo lift that ran through the center of the ship. It was faster but more dangerous. If aliens saw her, she would be trapped. Is the cargo lift monitored? Cameras disabled in your path. I control lift functions. I can move you safely. Jiwoo nodded. Do it. Take me up. She left the maintenance room and followed the glowing lights through a short tunnel. It opened into a large vertical shaft with a platform in the center. The cargo lift. It was a simple metal platform with railings on 3 sides. No roof, no walls, just open space. Jiwoo stepped onto the platform and held tight to the railing. The platform started moving up smoothly and quietly. Through the open shaft, she could see different decks passing by. Some had aliens working at stations. Others were empty. The ship moved her past them all without stopping. On deck 5, the platform stopped. Jiwoo stepped off into another corridor. This one was wider and cleaner than the maintenance areas. More important, she could see blast doors at the end marked with alien symbols. But underneath the alien writing, she saw faint human letters. Armory B. Her heart beat faster. Weapons, real weapons. Not just a stolen alien gun, but human military equipment. If the aliens had not found them. If they were still there after 70 years. She walked toward the blast doors. They were massive. Thick metal designed to survive explosions. A security panel next to them blinked red. Locked, Jiwoo placed her hand on the panel. Open, the panel turned amber. There was a deep rumbling sound as heavy locks disengaged. The blast door split down the middle and slid open slowly. Dust fell from the edges. They had not been opened in a very long time. Inside was darkness. Then lights flickered on one by one. Jiwoo stepped through the doors and stopped. She could not believe what she saw. Weapons, hundreds of them. Rifles hung on racks that stretched from floor to ceiling. Crates of ammunition stacked in neat rows. Body armor on mannequins. Grenades in secure containers. Combat knives. Medical supplies. Everything a military force would need. The aliens had never found this place. The armory was hidden behind layers of security they could not break. The ship had protected it. Kept it safe, waiting for humans to return. Jiwoo grabbed a rifle from the nearest rack. It was old but well maintained. The ship's environmental systems had kept everything dry and clean. She checked the weapon, loaded, ready to fire. She took 3 more rifles and slung them over her shoulder. Then she grabbed ammunition, grenades, and a combat knife that she strapped to her belt. She looked at the armor but decided against it. Too heavy. She needed to move fast. Speed was more important than protection right now. A screen on the wall came to life. Text scrolled across. Alert. Aliens have discovered the unconscious guards. Search teams being deployed. Estimated time until they reach your position. 20 minutes. 20 minutes. She needed to find the other prisoners and arm them before the aliens locked down the ship. Where is the nearest human prisoner? Map updated. 2 humans in engineering section Delta. 12 minutes from your position. Guide me. Fastest route. She ran back to the cargo lift with the weapons. The platform took her down to deck 3. She moved through corridors following the lights. Behind her, the armory doors sealed themselves shut. Hiding again, protecting the weapons that remained. Engineering section Delta was hot and loud. Machines hummed with power. Pipes hissed with steam. Jiwoo moved carefully between equipment until she saw them. 2 humans. A young woman working at a control panel. A man a little older repairing a broken machine. Both wore dirty clothes. Both looked thin and tired. Alien guards stood nearby watching them work. 3 guards with weapons. Jiwoo stayed hidden behind a large machine. She set down the extra rifles and kept one for herself. The guards were not paying attention. They were talking to each other. Bored. They did not expect trouble. She aimed carefully. Her grandfather taught her to shoot when she was young. She was good. Very good. She squeezed the trigger 3 times, fast. Accurate. The human weapons made a sharp crack sound. All 3 guards fell before they could react. The 2 human prisoners spun around in shock. The woman opened her mouth to scream, but Jiwoo stepped out quickly. I am Commander Jiwoo, Terran Defense Fleet. I am here to free you. They stared at her like she was a ghost. The man spoke first. How? Where did you come from? No time to explain. What are your names? I am Dawn, the woman said. This is Tae Yang. We were captured 3 years ago. Can you fight? They looked at each other. Then both nodded. Yes, Tae Yang said. We can fight. Good. Jiwoo handed them each a rifle and showed them quickly how to use it. This ship is human-built. The AI is helping us. We are taking it back from the aliens. Are you with me? Daeyeon smiled for the first time. It was fierce and dangerous. We are with you. There are 14 more prisoners. We need to find them and arm them. Then we attack. The ship will help us, but we have to move fast. An alarm suddenly blared throughout the ship. Loud and angry, red lights flashed in the corridors. The aliens knew something was wrong. Text appeared on a nearby screen. Ship-wide alert. Aliens searching all decks, lockdown protocol initiated. I am fighting their systems, but they will regain control soon. Jiwoo cursed. They were out of time. Change of plans. Ship open a communication channel to all human prisoners. All of them at once. Channel open. Jiwoo spoke clearly and loud. This is Commander Jiwoo. I know you can hear me. I know you are scared. I know you think there is no hope. But you are wrong. This ship is human. It remembers us. It is helping us. Right now, I am in Engineering Section Delta with weapons. If you can reach me, run. Fight your way here if you have to. We are taking this ship back today. We are going home. She closed the channel. Taeyang looked at her like she was insane. They will never make it. The aliens will kill them. Maybe, but maybe some will survive. Maybe some will fight. That is more than we had 5 minutes ago. Through the corridor, she heard sounds of fighting, shouting, weapons firing. Somewhere a human prisoner had attacked their guards. The rebellion had begun. Daeyeon moved to the control panel she had been working at. Her fingers flew across the screen. I can cause problems from here. Make things harder for them. Do it. Taeyang checked his rifle. What about us? Do we wait here? No, we push forward. We find the others and we arm them. Every human we free is another fighter. Every weapon we take is one less the aliens have. More fighting sounds echoed through the ship. Closer now. Jiwoo moved to the door and looked out. Down the corridor, she saw a human running toward her. Young, male. He had blood on his face and looked terrified. Behind him, 2 aliens were chasing with weapons raised. Jiwoo stepped out and fired. Both aliens fell. The young man stumbled and almost collapsed, but she caught him. You made it. What is your name? Bora, he gasped. I worked in the waste processing section. I heard your message. I ran. Good. You did good. She pulled him inside the engineering section. Daeyeon, give him your rifle. Use mine. I will take another from the aliens outside. They moved fast. Jiwoo grabbed weapons from the fallen guards. The ship's screens around them showed maps and information, directing them, warning them where aliens were moving. Another human appeared, then 2 more. They came running from different directions. Some were injured. Some were scared. But they all came. One by one they found Jiwoo and she armed them. Gave them weapons. Gave them hope. By the time 15 minutes had passed, she had 11 humans gathered in the engineering section. Not all 17, but more than she expected. The others were either too far away or already dead. She tried not to think about that. She gathered them together. They were not soldiers. They were civilians, farmers and teachers and engineers. But they were angry, and they were tired of being slaves. That would have to be enough. Listen to me, Jiwoo said. The ship is on our side. It will open doors for us. It will lock doors against the aliens. It will show us where they are. But we still have to fight. There are hundreds of them. The maintenance tunnels were tight with 11 people moving through them. Jiwoo led the way, following the lights that appeared in the walls. Behind her, the others moved as quietly as they could, but there was no hiding the sound of footsteps and breathing in the narrow space. They climbed up through 3 decks using old service ladders. The ship guided them around alien patrols and through sections that had been sealed for years. Sometimes they heard aliens on the other side of walls, shouting, searching, but the ship kept them hidden. When they emerged on Deck 9, Jiwoo held up her hand for everyone to stop. Through a grate in the floor, she could see down into a large room. Aliens, 20 of them at least. They wore combat armor and carried heavy weapons. A strike team, organized, dangerous. They know we are moving up, Taeyang whispered. They are preparing, Jiwoo nodded. The aliens were not stupid. They knew the prisoners would try to take the bridge. They were setting up defensive positions, making it harder, ship, she said quietly. Are there alternate routes? Text appeared on a small screen built into the wall. All direct routes to bridge are now blocked. Aliens have stationed guards at key points, however. There is one path they have not considered. Show me. The map changed. A route appeared that went through the exterior hull maintenance corridors, paths that ran along the outside of the ship between the inner hull and outer armor. It was dangerous. One mistake and they could be exposed to space. But the aliens would never expect them to go that way. "We can do it," Jiwoo said. "But we have to be careful. One breach and we are all dead." "Better than staying here and waiting for them to find us," Daun said. The others agreed. They had come this far. They would not stop now. The ship opened a hidden door in the tunnel wall. Cold air rushed out. Beyond was darkness and the sound of something humming. Power conduits. Energy running through cables as thick as a person's arm. They moved into the new corridor. It was wider than the maintenance tunnels, but the temperature was much colder. Their breath came out in white clouds. The walls were covered with frost in places. This section had not been designed for people to spend time in. It was just the space between the ship's layers, a gap where systems ran and maintenance could be done quickly during emergencies. They walked for 10 minutes. The cold bit through their clothes. Bora was shivering badly. Yujin shared her jacket with him. They helped each other, stayed together. Suddenly the ship shook, hard. Everyone grabbed the walls to stay upright. Through the floor they could feel vibrations, explosions, fighting. "What was that?" someone asked. Text appeared on a nearby panel. "Aliens are firing weapons at maintenance tunnels, trying to flush you out. They do not know your actual location. I am sealing blast doors to make them think you are trapped in sections you already left." "Good," Jiwoo said. "Keep them confused." They kept moving. The corridor curved upward. They climbed stairs that were so cold the metal burned their hands up and up. Getting closer to the bridge. On deck 11 they stopped at another door. Jiwoo checked the small window. Beyond was a cargo bay. Empty except for containers stacked along the walls. "No aliens visible. We cross here. Fast and quiet. The bridge is 2 levels above this bay. There are lifts on the far side." She opened the door and moved out first. The bay was massive. Large enough to hold small ships. The ceiling stretched up high above them. Loading equipment sat unused in corners. Everything covered in dust. The group moved between containers. Staying low. Staying hidden. They were halfway across when the lights suddenly came on. Bright, blinding. "Stop!" a voice shouted in the alien language. Jiwoo's translator made sense of it. "Stay where you are or we fire." She looked up. Aliens on the catwalks above. 10 of them with rifles aimed down. They had been waiting. "This was a trap. Drop your weapons," the alien commander ordered. Jiwoo looked at her people. They were exposed, no cover. If the aliens fired from above, they would cut the humans apart in seconds. She could see the fear in their faces. They thought it was over, but Jiwoo smiled. "Ship," she said loudly. "Cargo Bay Protocol 7. The aliens looked confused. What was she talking about? There was no Protocol 7. That made no sense. Then the floor opened beneath the aliens' emergency airlocks, designed to allow cargo containers to be dropped into space quickly during combat situations. They covered the catwalks. The aliens had been standing on them without realizing. 10 aliens fell screaming into the dark holes. The ship sealed the airlocks before vacuum could pull the humans down too. Then it was quiet. "Move," Jiwoo shouted. "Now!" They ran across the bay. The lifts were ahead. Behind them alarms blared. More aliens would come. Many more. They reached the lifts and piled inside. The doors closed and the lift started moving up fast, too fast. Everyone grabbed the walls as their stomachs dropped. "I am taking you directly to the bridge," the ship's voice said through speakers. It was the first time the AI had spoken out loud instead of through text. The voice was female, calm, human. "Be ready. There are guards outside." "How many?" Jiwoo asked. 30. "They are prepared for attack. I have sealed all other entrances. They can only defend the main door. I will open it for you. After that I cannot help. My control does not extend into the bridge interior. The aliens modified those systems heavily." The lift stopped. Jiwoo checked her rifle. The others did the same. 11 humans with stolen weapons against 30 trained alien soldiers in armor. "Bad odds, very bad odds. We hit them fast and hard," Jiwoo said. "Throw grenades first. Then rush in while they are confused. Do not stop moving. Do not think. Just fight." She looked at each of them. Bora, who was still shivering from cold. Yujin with determination in her eyes. Taeyang, who held his rifle like he actually knew how to use it. Dayun, who looked ready to kill every alien on the ship with her bare hands if necessary. "This is it," Jiwoo said. "If we take the bridge, we take the ship. If we fail, we die." But even if we die free. We die fighting. That is better than dying as slaves. Better, they agreed. Then let us show these aliens what humans can do. The lift doors opened. The corridor beyond was wide. At the end was a large door marked with alien symbols. The bridge. 30 aliens in combat armor stood in formation, blocking the way. When they saw the humans, their weapons came up. Grenades! Jiwoo shouted. 4 grenades flew through the air. The aliens saw them coming, but there was no time to run. The explosions were massive. Fire and smoke filled the corridor. Aliens screamed. Bodies flew backward. Go, go, go! Jiwoo ran forward, firing her rifle. The others followed. They ran into the smoke and chaos. Some aliens were down. Others were stumbling. Confused, the humans did not stop. They fired and kept running. An alien loomed out of the smoke. Jiwoo shot him twice. He fell. Another came from the side. Taeyun put a burst of fire into him. They pushed forward, step by step. Fighting through, Bora went down with a cry. Alien weapon fire had caught him in the chest. Yujin stopped to help him, but Taeyang pulled her forward. Keep moving. We can't stop! They reached the bridge door. It was still sealed. Jiwoo slapped her hand on the control panel. Open it, now! The door did not respond. The aliens had locked it from inside. The ship could not override it. I am sorry, the AI said. I cannot open this door. The bridge crew has full control. More aliens were coming from behind. Jiwoo could hear them. Running footsteps. Dozens of them. They had minutes, maybe less. Heijin appeared suddenly from a side corridor. He was covered in oil and burned in places, but he was alive. He ran to the bridge door with a case of equipment. I am here, he shouted. I came through engineering. I can open it. Do it, Jiwoo said. She and the others formed a line facing back the way they came, ready to hold off the aliens as long as possible. The first wave of alien soldiers appeared. They fired immediately. Humans fired back. The corridor became a war zone. Weapon fire everywhere. Someone screamed. Jiwoo did not look to see who fell. She just kept firing. Heijin worked on the door panel. His hands moved fast, pulling wires, connecting tools. Sweat ran down his face. Come on, he muttered. Come on, you old piece of... The door suddenly hissed. The locks disengaged. It started to open slowly. It's open. Heijin yelled. Inside. Everyone inside. They fell back through the opening door. Aliens rushed forward trying to follow, but Jiwoo threw her last grenade. The explosion bought them seconds. They stumbled into the bridge and Heijin slammed controls. The door sealed behind them. Jiwoo spun around to see the bridge for the first time. It was huge. Screens everywhere showing space and ship systems and tactical data. Control stations in a circle around a central command chair. And aliens, 20 more of them inside. The bridge crew had been waiting. Now they raised their weapons, but they were not fast enough. The humans were already moving. Already firing. It became close combat. Brutal, desperate, rifles at point-blank range. Aliens and humans falling. Blood everywhere. Jiwoo fought her way toward the command chair. An alien commander stood there, tall, covered in medals. This was their leader. The one who commanded the stolen ship. He pointed a weapon at her. She dove to the side. His shot missed. She came up firing. Hit him twice in the chest. He fell backward into the command chair and did not move again. Around her, the fighting continued. But there were fewer aliens now. The humans were winning. They pushed forward. Alien by alien, they took control of the bridge. The last alien fell. Then it was still the first 3 days after taking the ship were the hardest. Jiwoo and the 4 other survivors worked constantly to keep the Eternal Dawn running. None of them were trained bridge crew. They learned as they went with the ship's AI guiding them through every system and procedure. Heijin spent most of his time in engineering. The quantum engines that pushed the massive vessel through space were stable but old. They needed constant monitoring. He worked alone in the massive engine room with only the AI's voice for company. Sometimes he talked to the ship like it was a person. The ship talked back. It seemed to enjoy having someone care about its systems again, after so many years of alien neglect. Taeyun took over the navigation station. She had been a pilot before her capture, flying small ships between colonies. This was much bigger and more complex, but the basic principles were the same. She plotted courses and made small adjustments to keep them moving toward human space. At night, when the others slept, she would stare at the star maps and cry quietly, thinking about her family, wondering if they were still alive. wondering if they thought she was dead. Yu-Jin worked on communications, trying to repair systems the aliens had damaged or modified. She needed to reach human forces and tell them what happened, tell them the Eternal Dawn was coming home. But the communications array had been heavily altered. It would take days to fix, maybe weeks. She worked patiently, carefully, taking apart alien modifications piece by piece. Taeyang became the ship's doctor. He was not trained for it, but he was smart, and the ship's medical database had detailed instructions for treating injuries. He worked in the medical bay cleaning wounds and giving medicine to the others. Yu-Jin's leg was badly hurt from the bridge fight. It needed surgery, but Taeyang was afraid to try. Instead, he kept it stable and hoped real doctors could fix it when they reached home. Jiwoo commanded from the bridge. She slept in the captain's chair when she slept at all. There was too much to do, too much to think about. She wrote reports about what happened, made lists of the dead, checked systems, watched sensors for any sign of alien ships that might try to take back the vessel. On the fourth day, Hae-jin called from engineering. His voice was excited. "Commander, you need to see this. Come to engineering. Bring everyone." Jiwoo gathered the others and they made their way down to the engine room. Hae-jin was standing in front of a large screen showing data that meant nothing to Jiwoo. But he was smiling. "What is it?" she asked. "I found something in the ship's memory banks. Old files. Really old. From when this vessel first launched." He pulled up new information on the screen. The Eternal Dawn was carrying 15,000 colonists. Families. But the ship was attacked only 3 days into the journey. Most of the colonists were killed, but not all of them. Jiwoo's heart started beating faster. "What are you saying?" The aliens did not kill everyone immediately. They needed workers, engineers, scientists, people who understood human technology, so they kept some alive, used them as slaves. When those people died, they kept their children. Made them work too. How many? Taeyang asked quietly. According to these records, there should be 237 humans on this ship, descendants of the original colonists. They have lived their whole lives here. Born in captivity. Never knew freedom. The room went silent. 237 humans, hidden somewhere on the massive ship. Living as slaves for generations. Where are they? Jiwoo demanded. Hae-jin pulled up a ship schematic. Lower decks, sections 40 through 60. The areas we have not explored yet. The ship says those sections are still locked down. When we took the bridge, I only unlocked the critical systems. I did not know there were people down there. Open them now. All of them. Commander, wait, Taeyang said carefully. These people have lived under alien control their entire lives. They do not know we took the ship back. If we just open the doors, they might panic. Might think it is a trick. He was right. Jiwoo took a breath.
Ship, can you communicate with those sections?
Can you tell them what happened? Yes, the AI responded, but they may not believe. The aliens used automated messages before to confuse prisoners. They will think this is another lie. Then I go down there myself. I speak to them face to face. That is dangerous, Yu-Jin said. If they do not believe you, they might attack. They have been slaves so long they might think anyone giving orders is the enemy. I know, but we cannot leave them locked up. They deserve to know they are free. Jiwoo went alone. The others wanted to come, but she refused. If things went wrong, she did not want to risk more lives. She took no weapons, no armor. Just herself. She rode a lift down to deck 40. The doors opened on a corridor that looked different from the rest of the ship. The walls were bare metal. No screens. No windows. Just closed doors stretching in both directions. Prison cells. Ship, open one door. Let me talk to whoever is inside. Opening cell 17. A door slid open. Jiwoo stepped in front of it. Inside was a small room with 2 beds. 2 people. A woman maybe 30 years old. A young boy maybe 10. They looked at Jiwoo with fear. Who are you? The woman asked in Korean. Her accent was strange. Old-fashioned. The way people spoke 70 years ago. My name is Jiwoo. I am a commander in the Terran Defense Fleet. This ship has been taken back from the aliens. You are free. The woman stared at her. This is a lie. The guards say many lies. It is not a lie. The aliens are gone, locked in holding cells or dead. We are going home to Earth. Earth? The boy spoke for the first time. What is Earth? Jiwoo's heart broke. This child had been born on this ship, had never seen a planet, had never seen the sky or felt rain or walked on grass. He knew nothing but metal walls and alien masters. Earth is our home, Jiwoo said gently. A beautiful world with blue skies and green land and oceans so big you cannot see across them. That is where we are going. That is where you will live now, the woman shook her head. You lie. There is no such place. There is only the ship. Only the guards. Only work and pain and death. No, Jiwoo said firmly. That life is over. You are free. All of you. I am opening all the doors. You can come out. You can walk anywhere you want. You can go to the bridge and see space through the windows. You can eat real food in the dining halls. You can sleep without fear. You are free, she turned to the ship. Open all doors in sectors 40 through 60. Let everyone out. Throughout the lower decks, doors opened. People emerged slowly, carefully, expecting guards. Expecting punishment for leaving their cells. But there were no guards. No punishment. Only other prisoners looking at each other in confusion. Jiwoo walked through the corridors. Everywhere she went, people stared at her. She told them the same thing over and over. You are free. The aliens are gone. We are going home. Some believed her. Some cried. Some fell to their knees and prayed. Others did not believe. They thought it was a trick, a test. They went back to their cells and closed the doors themselves. Afraid that freedom was too good to be true. It took days for everyone to understand, days for them to believe that the nightmare was really over. Slowly they emerged, started exploring the ship that had been their prison, started learning about the universe they had been kept from. Jiwoo met a man named Kang Dae who had been born on the ship 50 years ago. His grandmother had been one of the original colonists. She told him stories about Earth before she died. Stories he thought were fantasies. Now he learned they were real. He spent hours in the observation deck staring at stars with tears running down his face. She met a young woman named Mi-sun, who had never seen another human child until now. The aliens had kept the prisoners separated. She did not know there were so many others. When she saw children playing together for the first time, she stood and watched them with wonder. She met families who had been separated for years. The aliens had split them up, kept them in different sectors. Now they found each other again. Husbands and wives, parents and children, siblings. The reunion was beautiful and heartbreaking. On the 10th day, Yujin finally got the communication system working. She sent a message to human space. A simple transmission identifying the ship and requesting contact. The response came 3 hours later. A military vessel detected their signal and responded with disbelief. The Eternal Dawn had been declared lost 73 years ago. Everyone thought it was destroyed. Now it was coming home. More ships came to escort them. Fighters and frigates that flew alongside the massive colony vessel, protecting it, welcoming it, guiding it toward Earth. On the 14th day, they entered Terran space. Jiwoo stood on the bridge with the other survivors. Around her screen showed human ships everywhere. A fleet had come out to meet them. Thousands of vessels, military and civilian. Everyone wanted to see the ghost ship that had returned from the dead. Communications channels flooded with messages. News reporters, government officials, families of the original colonists asking if their loved ones survived. The answer was no for most. But for a few, the answer was yes. Your grandmother is alive. Your uncle survived. Your cousin had children who had children. Your family line continued. On the 16th day, Earth appeared on the main screen. Blue and white and green, beautiful beyond words. Jiwoo had seen it before. She had